Hello everyone, I just want to take a moment and review with you all of the services that I do offer my investor buyer clients. You will notice to the left there is a breakdown of these services, but I just wanted to share with you on video here. I guess we'll start from the top, which is income projection analysis. So obviously if we're looking at income properties, we need to understand what we're getting into. So with this, we're kind of first of all analyzing the financial net worth and purchasing capability of each client. And then from there, we're looking at multiple properties across the board that do meet the client's needs. From there, we'll kind of estimate gross market rents of each property, counter that with some potential vacancy losses depending on the geographical area and kind of social issues in that neighborhood. Look at any additional sources of income that the property may produce, such as parking or laundry, etc. And then we'll look at some tax considerations as well. On the flip side, there is the operational cost analysis, which is kind of the sister of the income side. As I mentioned before in one of my previous videos, it's kind of irrelevant looking at just income alone or just expenses alone. You do need to put both of them together to get a really good understanding of a particular investment's potential. So we're looking at, again, market expenses, but also any risk with the market potential expense fluctuations and of things of those nature. Pre and post tax analysis. So what pre means is basically during the ownership phase, and then the post would be at disposition. So we're looking at things such as income versus capital gains tax versus business income tax, what expenses would be tax deductible, which would be considered a capital upgrade and added onto the cost base, and then just really diving into the Income Tax Act so the client has a better understanding of their tax liabilities. The resale flip analysis. So what this is essentially again a residential resale, looking at the potential of this angle for investment properties. In my experience, most clients have a big misunderstanding of this type of investment. They think it's easy to get into and they're gonna make a quick profit, and they often find themselves actually losing at the end of the day because they underestimate all of the expenses associated with the flip. So we'll be looking into all of the costs, including the acquisition cost, but also the carrying costs, tax considerations, capital gains versus possible business income, and we'll go from there. The lease cash flow is for commercial tenants. It's analyzing, I guess, the potential risks in commercial investments, HST considerations, but also market trends. It's a lot more complicated than residential investing, so clients do need to tread with caution in this particular area. The return on investment side. So, as I previously mentioned, there are quite a few calculations that clients can use for estimating their ROI, such as cash on cash or equity buildup, appreciation, cap rates, things of those nature. So we will be looking at all of those and then compare multiple properties across the board to really get a better understanding of which property would make a better investment. The long-term strategic planning is something I like to do with all of my clients. It really depends on the client's needs. Some clients just want to get into one property, hold that till their retirement, and that's essentially their pension, and that's fine. Some clients want to replace their job with rental income. So again, it all depends on the client's goals. So I like to sit down first and foremost with my client and get a better understanding of what they are trying to accomplish through real estate investing, and from there we can really come up with a detailed plan of action. The creative financing side, this is something that I really find fascinating because every property, it becomes more and more difficult each property. The first is easier than the second is easier than the third. So you really have to understand all the different ways that you can acquire property through private financing, vendor takebacks, equity refinancing, RSP leveraging, things of those nature. So I really like to dive in and with my clients and get a full understanding of their financial snapshot from the start, and then make a plan of action from there. And last but not least, the tenancy consulting side for both residential and commercial clients. Honestly, from the start, if you think you're getting into real estate investing and never going to have an issue with tenants, you're mistaken. It is going to happen. It is part of the game. But there are ways to minimize your risk and exposure and kind of maximize your return. So we'll be looking at the Residential and Commercial Tenancies Act, and then talking about ways to, minimize your exposure and risk with that. So those are the services I do offer my buyer clients. If you have any questions, please contact me on my contact page. Thanks for listening.